Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I was thinking about it and I wish that I named this podcast Talking to Myself because that's what it really feels like. Obviously, I'm talking to myself in this room right now, but the things that I choose to make every week about is something that I was talking about with myself in my head all week because I'm a really big daydreamer, I guess you could say. Like, I just have full on conversations with myself in my head all day long, and it feels so real that sometimes I can't even remember if I said something to someone or if I just thought in my head that I'm going to say this to them and I had a conversation with myself, but I'll think that I was discussing this with someone else. Like that's how much I talk to myself in my head, and that's honestly like why I want to start a podcast. I'm like, I have so much that I say to myself in silence that I guess I should just say out loud. And then I do post this online, but like so little people are listening to it that it kind of is like I'm just talking to myself. So that's awesome. I'll have to look into if anyone has that name. If they do, maybe I could call it like Lizzie talking to Lizzie. I don't know. So something that I've been talking about with myself a lot this week is that I'm basic and I need to stop being scared of being basic because honestly like that's a fear of mine. I've been getting better at it like lately. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm basic. We're all basic. We're all the same thing, okay? Like if you're a girl that's in her 20s in America, chances that we have like the same things in our closet and listen to the same things, listen to the same music, watch the same shows, like the same celebrities, read the same books. If you're a book reader like me, like we're probably doing a lot of the same things. Obviously, we're going to be similar and have somewhat similar personalities and similar interests and wear the same things. Like it's just common sense. That's how America works. We're all seeing the same ads. We're all listening to the same news. We're watching the same award shows with the same celebrities. We're seeing the same billboards. We're going to the same stores. Like every mall in America has the same stores with the same things in them. Every season, even like the things that we're seeing in these stores are so similar every year. Like we're kind of programmed to all be the same. So I don't know when it became like such a shameful, embarrassing thing to be basic. Like it's just used as an insult. I feel like oh she's so basic, especially when it comes to like celebrities and stuff. I've been seeing this a lot in the Oscars content comments. People will insult a celebrity by calling them basic and boring. They're like, oh my god, how is she even famous? She's so boring. She's so basic. I saw this with Haley and Kendall's outfits. They were getting so much hate for their outfits. Everyone was just saying, like, they're always so basic. They always wear the same things. They're so boring. I even saw one really dramatic post about them because they were doing this like interview that they both shout out answers. And someone was like, oh my god, they're so empty. Like what? What did you want them to blurt out? Like there's this crazy expectation for people to be like so unique and so different. Like I want to see what these people that leave these comments calling people boring and basic, like I want to know what their personalities are like. They must be the most interesting people in the entire world and are so quick-witted and are so funny and are so smart and are so different. But I just don't believe that. I think there's probably like 1% of the population, maybe even less, of people that are genuinely extremely unique and interesting, like unicorns, people that you hardly ever come across, people that you meet and you're like, wow, like that person was so unique. Like I'm enamored by them. I haven't met someone like this in so long. Like I just don't think that that comes around very often. Not everyone can be the most interesting person alive. Like what would that even be considered? What would someone's ideal like interesting celebrity be, because they call every influencer, every creator, every celebrity boring and basic. What's someone that is interesting? Like I would love to hear one of those hate commenters give me an example of someone that's really interesting, because you're calling talented people boring with crazy skills, like amazing singers and actresses and people that have like great businesses. Everyone is just boring. Everyone's basic. And then I also saw a bunch of hate comments about Emma Chamberlain. I even saw one. It was a TikTok of a tweet. I don't go on Twitter. Twitter is like not my vibe, but I will sometimes see like recycled tweets on TikTok. And there was a really viral tweet about Emma Chamberlain because she was wearing kind of like an out there outfit. She also has like really edgy hair. If you haven't seen what Emma Chamberlain looks like in a while, she has really short, like a pixie cut. It's bleach blonde. And usually when she goes to events, she always does like really heavy eye makeup and to the Oscars red carpet, she was wearing like mismatched colors. It was an outfit that like didn't really make sense. You know, it was more like an artsy statement. And there was a viral tweet about her that said, "This is what happens when you're scared of being basic." So like they were also hating on her for like trying hard to be different, but then they're also hating on Haley and Kendall for wearing like simple dresses. And by the way, Haley and Kendall's dresses weren't even like that bland. Haley was in like an animal print, I'm pretty sure, and Kendall was in like a beautiful light blue dress with embellishments on it. Like I thought that was out of Kendall's comfort zone. Like I thought she was slaying it. So when I saw people calling her boring, I was like, why? Because she's not doing like a crazy makeup look. Like, why are people expected to be like performing all the time? And I feel like this fear of being basic is making people even more boring. Like this is just a huge cycle of boring because there's so many people, especially like people that create content and are in the public eye. You can tell like they feel this pressure to like be different, so they'll try hard. Like they're trying really hard to kind of put on a persona and a niche brand to like stand out. And this does work really well for some people, especially if you're like a comedy kind of page or like a comedian. It makes sense that you're putting on a persona and you're like trying hard. That's not really what I'm referring to. I'm referring to more like just a lifestyle creator who you can tell is like really putting on a persona to seem different, and they refuse to like do anything basic. This was low key me for like a little bit. When I first started posting on TikTok, I felt like, especially because I was starting with like zero. So I think a lot of people actually do this, like to initially get that head start. You feel like you need to make rage bait content because you kind of do. Like if no one knows who you are, you can't just pull up with like my morning routine. Like no one cares about your morning routine. So I was aware of that and I was like, I gotta make some like rage bait, shocking, like unique content. And my take on that was just like to kind of act stupid. Like that was my thing. I would just act stupid and like review things and be like, it tastes like water, and review expensive ice cubes and like act amazed by it and review Erewhon. And you know, like that was my take on exaggerating my personality to like be different, because I knew that if I was too basic and too boring, like no one would care. So I guess I'm not really one to judge because like I did the same thing, but it just really stands out to me because there are some people that I've met in real life who on social media have these like out there personalities and are kind of like camp, and then you meet them in person, they're like your regular Joe Schmo. This happened to me at Coachella 2 years ago. I met someone who has a really distinct like brand on social media. Like they have a full on persona on social media, and in person they were just like your average straight man. And I was like, wow, wow, like wow. But it's actually funny because I think the most successful influencers and content creators are just the basic everyday girls. Like the girls that do get ready with me, make dinner with me, get dressed with me, day in the life. Like they're the most popular influencers because they're being themselves. Even though it might not be the most riveting content ever, it stands out because they're being themselves, and you're like getting attached to them because you know them, because they're more comfortable to like be themselves. And when you're just being yourself, you can post a lot more. That's what I noticed. Like when I was more in my like comedy era and like putting on that whole like stupid persona, I couldn't post that much. I was probably posting like a couple times a week because it just wasn't that natural for me to like pick up a camera and be myself, because I felt like that would be too boring. So I would only record when I like had this whole planned like try hard concept. So that's definitely something I learned in my 20s, is that it's just okay to be boring and basic. If you're just being yourself and maybe it's a little boring sometimes, that's normal. Like we're not performers. No one can be funny and entertaining and like the life of the party all the time. Even the people that you love and watch online that you think are so funny and so entertaining, and you're like, oh, I wish I had their personality. Like they're so quick-witted, they're so funny, they're so entertaining, they're so outspoken. I wish I was like that. I promise you, they're probably also not like that all the time. We're all humans at the end of the day. We're all just boring people. I mentioned this in another one of my videos that I'm obsessed with like referring to human evolution, but like we are all just humans. We're all the same. We're all the same. You don't need to try so hard to be different. Do you see a cat like trying so hard to like bark? Like, no, the cat is just meowing because he knows he's a cat and that's what cats do. Like, cats meow. You don't gain anything from trying to like be something you're not and trying to bark as a cat. So like you could be different. That was such a weird example. So there were a few things this week that like really got me thinking about being basic, the art of being basic. The first thing was I was coming up with like my dream New York City day because I wanted to make a TikTok guide, like what I would do if this is my first time ever in New York, because I get this question a lot. It's like one of my most common DMs. And it's kind of an awkward DM to even answer because like I would have to give every single person such a detailed, long response. So I was like, I should just make a video about this. And also, it's kind of funny because I don't think people are expecting me to say the things that I'm gonna say because I am a native New Yorker. I was born here. I grew up here my entire life, other than the 2 years that I lived in LA. But I'm as New York as it gets, and I guess there's not that many other native New Yorker influencers. I feel weird calling myself an influencer. I always call myself a content creator. But anyway, so maybe that's why people think like I'm the person to go to, and they're like, oh, if I ask Lizzie, she probably has like real recommendations from a native New Yorker that like I can't find on TikTok. If I look up things on TikTok, I'm just getting the generic, basic, boring tourist recommendations. Like, let me ask a local. But here's the thing, the mainstream, boring, basic recommendations are the recommendations for a reason. Like, I think people forget that basic things are basic for a reason. Basic's like another word for popular. And most of the time, things are popular for a reason. I know Times Square gets such a bad rep, and people think like it's even cringe for tourists to go to Times Square. Like, oh, don't waste your time going to Times Square. And it's just like this big meme. Like, why do people go to Times Square? But imagine you're from Montana and you're visiting New York City for the first time, or any major city for the first time, and you go to Times Square. That's probably an insane experience. Like, that's the reason Times Square is a world known place because it is out of the norm for most people. Like, yeah, if you grew up in New York or you live in New York, it's boring and basic to us, but to most people, like, it is a really interesting, cool place to go visit. There's a reason why it's Times Square, and there's a reason why everyone goes there. You don't need to be ashamed to go visit Times Square if it's your first time in New York, just because everyone makes fun of it and calls it like basic. Why would you go to little underground towns in New York City if it's your first time ever visiting and you won't even feel like you're in New York? You know, like if I'm going to a city for the first time, I'm doing the things that they're known for. I want to feel like I'm in that city. I want to experience that city. I'm going to the basic places. I'm going to the popular landmarks. I'm going to the Met Museum. I'm going to Times Square. I'm going to the Statue of Liberty. I'm going to the restaurants that you see all of the celebrities at and I see all over TikTok. Like, that's what I would do personally, especially when it comes to restaurants. People make fun of like the popular, hyped up restaurants all the time. All the time. Everyone says like those restaurants are so overhyped, they're not worth the money. The food's really not that great. It's so overhyped. Here's my take on this. I think popular restaurants are popular 99% of the time for good reason. Every popular restaurant that me and Chris have gone to as of lately, like I mean the ones that are like recently going viral on TikTok, like the Corner Store, for example, or Sondale North, like that's a food place that I tried because it went viral on TikTok. Even like Culture Frozen Yogurt is my favorite froyo, and like I only found out about it, even though I'm a native New Yorker, like I only found out about it because it went viral on TikTok. And like there's a reason they're going viral. These places are going viral because they're really good. There are so many food options in New York. If something's going viral, that means so many people have gone there and talked about it and said like it's delicious, and then it's a huge chain reaction and it's going to become more and more popular. There's like no such thing as hidden gems anymore. I think hidden gems haven't existed since like the early 2000s, because a hidden gem used to be a restaurant that you just stumbled across, you tried it and it was delicious, but there's like no news articles about it. There's no Michelin star. It's not on the New York Times top eats. Because back then, the only restaurants that were like really popular were things that made it onto mainstream TV or were like celebrity owned, or there were celebrity paparazzi pictures of like celebrities going to that restaurant, or it was on like some type of food network. Like that was the only way for a restaurant to become so popular and mainstream. But now, most really popular restaurants are popular just because the average person went to it and shared their honest review online, and then it just becomes like this huge chain reaction. Other people are posting, and now it's viral. So now that it's viral, people are calling it basic and overhyped. But it's like, no, you're forgetting the reason that it became viral. It became viral because the quality, like the product was actually good. I just saw the McDonald's CEO get like flamed for calling that new sandwich a product, but I do the same thing all the time. I think it's like something you pick up in school, and like obviously he's the CEO of McDonald's. I'm sure he's taken so many business classes and like has several degrees and like has been working corporate for years. So I think that's why he says the word product, obviously, but it kind of is a good term to use to describe things. Me and Chris got the big arch, by the way. It was kind of delicious. A double cheeseburger from McDonald's is one of my guilty pleasures because it doesn't taste like a regular cheeseburger. Like you don't crave that if you're craving a cheeseburger. If you're craving a McDonald's cheeseburger, like you're specifically craving a McDonald's cheeseburger, it's its whole own food category. The bread is just like so light and airy and like filled with sugar and chemicals, and then the meat is so thin and like hardly tastes like meat. The cheese, the pickles, like it's delicious. And the big arch had so much meat that it tasted like a real burger version of a McDonald's burger, if that makes sense. Anyway, that's not the point. My point with all that was just that like basic things are basic for a reason, popular things are popular for a reason. Like there's no shame in liking basic things. There was this whole big controversy, if we're like on the New York City theme. You probably would only have even heard of all this if you live in New York, because I feel like it was a very like niche topic of conversation. But there was this girl that made this video that was like, New York City influencers are so boring. They're all basic. They all do the same things. They all go to Pilates and they all drink matcha and they all wear Revolve. Mind you, I went to this girl's profile. She was literally just like your average girl. Literally just like your average girl who moved to New York and has rich parents and works in fashion. And also, like, she had videos drinking Blank Street, which was like what was so funny to me. Like, you're calling other people basic for drinking this drink, but like you were just doing it a few weeks ago. But then she was defending it like, oh no, like it was just a one-time thing. Like, oh my gosh. You don't need to fight for your life and defend yourself for like wanting to do something basic. It's normal to want to try something. Like, of course you're gonna want to try Blank Street. You're hearing everyone talk about Blank Street. There's ads for it everywhere. There's storefronts all over the city. They're always doing these like fun new flavors. Like it's normal. It's human to want to go inside and try the new flavored drink that you see everyone getting. Like you don't have to think you're so above it. Like, oh my gosh, I can't try the new Blank Street drink because it's so basic. I have to go to the local place around the corner. Speaking of local coffee shops, they're never good. I'm so sorry, but I've never had a good matcha from just like a random local coffee shop. Sorry. If it's like a matcha place, that's a different story, but I mean just like a coffee shop, like a random local coffee shop. But basically this girl went on this like rant calling all New York City influencers boring and basic, and they all have the same personalities and they all do the same things. And like I said, she was literally the same. Like she fell into the same category, except like she wasn't a famous influencer for it. Like the only difference between her and the girls that she was shading were that it's their job and like they make a living off of this, and like she's just doing it casually. That was the only difference between her and the people that she was shaming. But my whole thing when people call people boring and basic for these things, it's just like, what do you want them to do? We're all just girls. By the way, going to Pilates is amazing for you. Pilates, I say this all the time, is the only workout that's ever gotten me to be consistent with working out and like actually enjoy it and look forward to going to it. And actually, ever since I started Pilates, I've also been like working out in other ways now just because it got me like back in the groove. Pilates is what got me to like enjoy exercising. So I don't know what all the shade is about Pilates. Like, is it basic and everyone's doing it now and no one was doing it 10 years ago? Yeah, but thank you to whoever made it a popular basic trend because I'm loving it and a lot of other people are loving it. Like, I understand it had its niche beginnings, but it's not anymore. And that's just something that you have to accept. If you were someone that started Pilates before it became mainstream, are you going to stop now just because it's mainstream? Did you ever even like it then? Or were you just doing it because you felt cool and niche and different for doing a workout that no one else was doing? Like everyone else was doing Soul Cycle and you were doing Pilates, so like you felt so cool and different. But now that it's mainstream, you're gonna go find something else. Like, did you ever even like it in the first place? Are you doing things that you even like, or are you doing things just because they feel different to you? I feel like that's what happened with tabbies too. So many people, I, from what I from what I think, like I could be wrong. Maybe everyone genuinely loves tabbies, but I think the rise of tabbies was for the same reason, like people trying to be different. They wanted to like make a point like I'm unique and I'm different. So I'm going to get this like camp shoe that a lot of people think is ugly, but if I wear it, it kind of shows that I'm like different and stand out. And I'm sure so many people genuinely like tabbies. I actually had a pair of tabby sneakers like 5 years ago because I just thought they were like cool. I got them like secondhand. I was like, oh, this is such a cool find. But I think that like what's happening now of people buying like the Steve Madden dupe flats, I could be wrong. Again, I could be wrong. But to me, it's just giving like you're trying hard to be different and be unique. That it's almost like going full circle and just making you boring because now there's a bunch of people that like are trying to be so unique, all wearing the same thing. But speaking of that girl that made the video, she actually got fired from her job. I remember like seeing an update from her like months later. Her job did leave her because she was working in social media, like I think she was on the influencer division for a fashion company. Like why would you with your own face and your name go online and shame the people that literally you work with? It made no sense. Like she must have been so filled with just I don't know if it was jealousy or rage in her that she was like willing to throw everything away just to like make fun of girls for being basic. Like it's just so not that serious. You could have just let them be basic in peace and you would still have your job. And I mentioned earlier that even though people claim influencers are so boring and so basic, those are the ones that do the best. And those are the creators that get the most opportunities because they're brand friendly and they can post similar content every single day. Like they have a structure, it's easy to incorporate brands into their content. Like there's a reason why all these creators are making this type of content, and I honestly wish that I knew that sooner because I was also on like the bus of like I need to be different, I can't be basic. Oh, another thing this week that I saw like the whole conversation about like basic going around was the new Chanel collection. And I'm like not even someone that is up to date on like new designer collections dropping and like a luxury brand getting a new designer. Like I'm usually not up to date on any of that stuff, but I saw a video of a girl unboxing Chanel flats, and I always tune in for those. I love ballet flats, and the next designer thing that I get, I want to be Chanel ballet flats. Like I've really been thinking about this for a while. I have my ballet flat collection. I feel like what I'm missing from my collection are the tan Chanel ballet flats with the black toe. I just feel like it would really fill a space in my closet. I have a lot of black shoes. Okay, I don't have that many shoes. The only shoes I have a lot of are flats. So maybe like it's probably not my best decision, but I do feel like I need the tan ones. Like there are just so many occasions that I'm going into my closet and like those are the shoes that I'm envisioning to go with my outfit. Like I just feel like I need them. Do I also need heels? I really need like a good staple pair of like tan heels. That my sister just yelled at me because I wore boots to a baptism. But like I genuinely had no other options. I had no other options unless I wore black ballet flats, which like then I just looked like a little girl. And it was cold out, so like, I didn't want my legs exposed. So I was like, I'm wearing the boots. But if I had tan heels in my closet, that would have really helped me out. But anyway, I saw a Chanel flat unboxing, and when the girl took these shoes out of the box, I just heard like, oh, they were the most beautiful shoes I've ever seen in my entire life. They were cheetah print Chanel ballet flats, and then the toe was like polka dots, and it's made out of pony hair, I think, so it also like looks hairy. They were gorgeous, like beautiful, and I've never seen these before. So my first thought was like these must be like a vintage, really hard to get line of Chanel that I've never seen of. So I immediately take a screenshot. I Google reverse image search. They're not anywhere online. So I'm like, what's going on? So I go on TikTok and I search up like Chanel cheetah ballet flats. And then that's when I realized that I'm very late to the game. These are from a new collection. Chanel got a new designer, and this was his first drop, I'm pretty sure. And people are going feral over this collection. It wasn't just me. People are like losing their minds. People are flying to different countries that got the drop early just to make sure they get it. People are lining up outside of Chanel as if it's like a fast fashion store. And apparently, really loyal Chanel customers hate this. They're like, this was never Chanel. Chanel is supposed to be staple pieces, and Chanel is this and Chanel is that. And now there's all these new people that just want these shoes because they're trendy, and it's putting such a bad taste in my mouth. I saw like a few people using that term, that this style going so mainstream and becoming so popular, it's like putting a bad taste in their mouth. And now they don't even want it. Now they're so turned off by this new collection, since anyone and everyone wants it, now they don't want it because they're just so different and so cool and so unique that they can't get this new collection now because they need everyone to know that they're not just basic and hopping on a trend. They're like an OG Chanel shopper. So they're going to only wear like their vintage stuff to like prove that they're different and they're cool, and they can't get the new collection, or else that makes them basic. Don't understand that. Like, if it's a pattern you love and you think they're beautiful shoes, you're not going to get them just because everyone else is getting them. I understand not getting something because it's going viral and you're like, wait, do I actually like this, or is it just trendy? That I fully understand, like not getting something because it's trendy, because sometimes you can just be tricked into thinking you like something if you see like everyone wearing it. So you're like, oh wait, like I should get that. Should I stop wearing my old shoes and like get the new trendy shoe? That's when you can tell yourself like, no, I don't actually want this. It's just trendy. But not getting something that you genuinely want because it's trendy, that's when like you might have an individuality complex and like think you're too cool to do what everyone else is doing. I feel like the definition of basic is kind of changing too. Like the real definition of basic and like calling someone basic and calling someone's style basic and their personality basic should mean someone that's just like understated, simple, like they wear jeans, black sweaters, black flats, or not even flats. Flats apparently are trendy too. I was getting that comment on my ballet flat video that, oh, like you're just a trend chaser. Oh, when did you start wearing ballet flats? Last week. Like, actually, I've always loved wearing ballet flats, but even if I just started last week, that's fine. If it took me until last week to discover that I love ballet flats, so be it. But what I was saying, I feel like that's the original definition of basic, like someone that's just like basic, like just your average person, just like very average and simple, like how they were describing Kendall and Haley at the Oscars. Like their makeup was just a very simple makeup. Their hair was very simple. They always do the same hairstyle and same makeup style. They don't really like step out of the box too much and like show up with like a whole new like grunge look that's out of their comfort zone. They wear a similar silhouette, like how Kylie Jenner wears the same silhouette all the time. People are calling her basic for it. That's like one definition to basic. And now I feel like it's also used just to describe like trend chasers, even if what they're doing isn't necessarily basic. If you know what I mean. Like the tabbies again. Tabbies are like such a good example for like talking about basic and like people wanting to be different. Like even though tabbies aren't basic, they're actually like not a simple shoe at all. They're like a very avant-garde shoe. Like, nothing about them is simple or basic. But the fact that now everyone is wearing them and they're mainstream, now they're basic. Or like let's say like a viral addicted clothing item, like the cheetah sequin shorts. Like are cheetah sequin shorts necessarily a basic piece? No. But the fact that they were like so mainstream and a bunch of girls are all wearing them, now they're basic. I guess the goal, if you're like a basic hater, is just to do something or wear something that's not mainstream. But then all the people with that mentality are all looping back to do the same things. And then they're creating like their whole own new bubble of like trendy basics. So at the end of the day, the best thing that you can do is just be yourself. I feel like this is like the biggest phrase that gets thrown around all the time, and like it's a popular basic phrase for a reason, because just truly being yourself is the best thing you can do in every realm of your life. Just like truly being comfortable in yourself makes you more interesting because you're more comfortable to like actually say what comes to your mind. If you have this like idea in your head that you need to be a certain way and like you want to have this niche personality, you're holding yourself back from so many things. Like if you're trying so hard to like be niche and be mysterious, you're going to hold yourself back from opportunities that you might not even have known that you're interested in, because you're trying so hard to like be something else that your real self can't grow. Like, is fashion content and food content so basic and so boring and everyone does it? Yes. But don't hold yourself back from making fashion content or food content just because it's basic, if that's truly what you're interested in, because maybe you do start it and you're doing the same thing that everyone else is doing, but something about you is different and does stand out. Like you wouldn't even know that because you're trying so hard to not be yourself, if you know what I mean. Being scared of being basic is just like being insecure, basically. Like you're just insecure in your real self, and maybe you do view your natural self and personality as boring, so you feel like you need to try hard and be different to impress people, because if you were just yourself, like you're not going to impress anyone. So I guess it does just stem from like a place of insecurity. I remember there was that article that came out that was like the West Village girl, and they were like making fun of how all girls in the West Village like all are transplants and all dress the same and all go do the same things and go to the same places. Like, what do you expect from them though? It's always been this way. Like, hello? Are we like okay? Did we miss history? Trends have always been a thing in all of history. And honestly, the early 20s West Village girls should be grateful that the trends right now are blue denim jeans with a leather jacket and boots. Like, yeah, are they all wearing the same outfit? And it's like kind of funny to see a group of 7 girls all wearing blue jeans, a leather jacket, and booties, and like the same black shoulder bag. It is kind of funny, but like at least that's what they're doing. At least it's not ripped tight skinny jeans with over the knee boots. And what jackets were we even wearing? Oh, the green army jacket. Like at least their trend right now that they're all clones of are staple pieces and not like super micro trends that are going to be thrown out in a few months. Ooh, speaking of basic New York City girl fashion, I wanted to talk about park sweatshirts, because park sweatshirts also have such a bad rep. They're like the face right now for basic, trendy clothing that is so basic to the point that it's like embarrassing to wear, according to some people. Like if they see you wearing a park sweatshirt, they're like, that's all I need to know about you. You are Miss Basic. You are the queen of basic. You're as basic and boring and bland as it possibly gets. Here's what I think about park sweatshirts. Everyone says, like, why are you wearing a sweatshirt with a random girl's name on it? First of all, that's like majority of businesses. So I don't know why they're treating her last name as if it's like the first business ever named after someone's name. Like I understand she's a random girl, like she wasn't even famous or anything, or like a famous designer, so maybe that's why it seems odd to you. But her last name does just sound like a brand. Like Park does just sound like a brand. It's not like her last name is like Dushaj. Like that I would understand, like, okay, that just sounds like a last name. Or it's not like she named it Chelsea, like her first name. Park does sound like a brand. So first of all, that's the first thing that I just want to clear. The second thing, she deserves some credit. She was a nobody. She wasn't famous. She wasn't even an influencer. She was a micro influencer when she started this brand. And the reason it became what it is because the product was good. It was a good new product. Are mock necks new? No. Have mock necks existed forever? And like people need to make that a point that she didn't invent mock necks. Yes, mock necks have been around, but she is who made sweatshirt thick, oversized, chunky mock necks with a big logo plastered on the front a huge trend. And she started from nothing. Like she wasn't famous. She made this product and people loved it so much that people were buying it. and other people were buying because they saw those people wearing it. And it was a huge chain reaction that then made it popular. And it became so popular that now major businesses are copying her design. Yes, I know she didn't invent the mock neck, but because of her creating this trend, now huge brands like Free People and I don't know, like other major brands, every workout brand basically is also making the same exact styled mock neck with their logo plastered on it. And have mock necks always existed? Yes. But 5 years ago, was Free People selling that style of mock neck with the logo in the same placement as hers? And was it like this huge trend that every brand was doing it? No, she's who made it a trend. I feel like we need to give credit where credit is due. In this situation, did she make a riveting product? No. But is she the reason why everyone's wearing mock necks now? Yes. Do I want one? Yes. Do I own one? No, because I've been scared of getting one, and then everyone's like, "Oh, you're so basic," and then I'm spending like so much money just to be called like basic and being bullied for it. I think that I would wear it every single day, and honestly, I feel like now that I'm getting this off of my chest because I've been wanting to get this off my chest for a while, I think I'm gonna go buy one. I want one. I want the gray one, and I know I would wear it all the time. Like I love when things are zipped up to the top. I love wearing things buttoned all the way to the top. I love turtlenecks. I love sweatshirts. I wear hoodies all the time. Like a mock neck sweatshirt, I would wear every single day. And the only reason that I haven't gotten it is because of like terrible rep that it has. But this is me admitting right now that I don't care. And I am basic and I'm gonna get a park sweatshirt and I'm probably gonna wear it every single day. Okay, that's that. But also, what do you expect from young girls that are on a limited budget? Like when I was in college and I bought a new pair of like tight, skinny, ripped jeans, I was wearing those every week because I was on a limited budget. So if a girl goes out and buys like nice blue jeans and a nice new leather jacket and a nice new shoulder bag, of course she's going to be wearing it all the time. Like she's 21 years old and just moved to a new city. Do you expect her to constantly be buying like new niche pieces all the time and going vintage shopping every week and hunting on eBay to have the most unique, coolest outfit ever? Like, no, she's going to her local Reformation or Brandy Melville buying stuff that she thinks cute and is in trend and that she can wear a lot. Like, she's not going thrifting every week and getting the most niche outfit to wear to her local bar that's filled with guys spilling beer on them. Like, let's be so real. Wow, I think this is the fastest that I've ever recorded an episode because I was just like on fire. Like, there was just so much spitting out. I always leave bullet points of things that I want to talk about just so I can like stay on track. And I'd even look at the bullet points one time. I think I skipped over a few things, but it's like too late to even backtrack now. Like we're already so far away from all of this. Okay, I'll end off with some motivation. This is something that I heard so long ago that's always really stuck with me, and I think it ties great with the whole topic of being basic. If there's something that you've always wanted to do, whether it's start a business, start posting online, start dressing a certain way, like just anything that you've craved doing, but you're like, oh, too many people have done that. There are too many skincare businesses. There are too many lifestyle creators. There's too many New York City food reviewers. Think of when you go to the supermarket and you go to the bread aisle, how many brands are all selling sliced bread? There are countless. There's an entire wall filled of sliced bread, but every brand is slightly different. Even if two of them are just 100% white sliced bread, one of them might be grown on a family farm in Idaho, and that's what stands out to you to pick up that one because you're also from Idaho, or you like that it's family owned, and then the one right next to it has pretty colors that stand out to someone else, or the one below it has protein in it, or the other one has fiber and you need fiber. There's something for everyone, and there's always room for everyone, especially if you're someone that like wants to start posting online. I tell everyone, like literally everyone that I speak to, that you should at least try it. Like there's room for everyone. Everyone can do it. It's an amazing, like even if it's not something you want to do full time, it's like such a good side hustle to have, even just a hobby. Like ever since I started posting online, I feel like my communication skills have gotten so much better. My public speaking has gotten so much better. My like social anxiety, like now I have no fear of being cringe. I have no fear of embarrassment. So I recommend it to everyone. Even starting a podcast. Everyone has podcasts now to the point that it's like kind of a meme. Like, oh, another podcast equipment is too cheap. Don't let the fear of something being basic hold you back, because it held me back from starting a podcast for so long. So I was like, oh, I'm not going to start a podcast. Like, everyone has a podcast. Podcasts are so basic, but so what? Like, there's a lot of podcasts because people listen to them. There's no limit on the youtube.com that says like too many podcasts. There's not. You can still start one. Okay, I think that's all I got on being basic. So let's all say this together. I am basic and I'm proud. I'm basic, you're basic. We're all basic, and that's fine. So now, for the last few minutes of the podcast, this is when I talk about myself for a few minutes and catch up on my life for the past week. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Last weekend, I went to Atlantic City for my mom's birthday, which was so much fun. We were supposed to stay the entire weekend, but we were all losing. Atlantic City is basically like the Vegas of the East Coast. Like, it's actually very similar. It's a strip filled with casinos, even a lot of the same like casino chains in both places. There's the outlets, there's like the same type of restaurants within the casinos. It's that vibe. So if you've ever been to Vegas, it's just like a bootleg version of Vegas. My mom and my dad's brother have the same birthday, and it's like their tradition that they go every year. Sometimes they switch it up. They go to the one in Connecticut. There's Mohegan Sun in Connecticut, which like isn't as elaborate as Atlantic City. It's smaller, so it's not as fun. Sometimes they do go to Vegas. I think they've gone twice for like the landmark birthdays. And I think they might go next year. And maybe I'll go with them. A family trip to Vegas will be so fun. I didn't make any content there because I was like, wait, is making content at a casino like kind of a bad look? But like, it was a family trip. It was fun. It was wholesome. We got Wawa on the way there and Wawa on the way back. Also, this week, I feel like I've been having lucky girl syndrome again. I know I talked about it like 2 months ago now, because it was January, like beginning of the year. It was one of my New Year's resolutions to be more positive and start telling myself that I am lucky, because I decided, I have a whole episode about it, that I decided that if I call myself lucky and I call myself happy and I call myself all these good positive things, that I'll speak it into existence, and it'll also just like improve my mindset. If I'm in a better mindset, I can accomplish more. And I was keeping up with it for like the first couple of weeks, but then I was having all those issues with moving, and it kind of just brought me right back down, where I was just like being super like ugh. And I feel like I wasn't able to attract luckiness into my life at that time, because I was just like so thinking the worst. But now that I've moved and I've been here for a month now, it's actually been exactly a month since I moved, I feel like I'm able to focus on things that I want to focus on again, and not just like stressed about moving. And I feel like it's allowed me to like welcome luckiness back in, or so I think. I feel like I've been getting more opportunities lately, and things have just been like going right again for once. Let me not jinx it. But tonight I actually have like two really fun events, which I mentioned this last week. I went on that whole rant about Nespresso 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and now I'm going to an espresso event tonight. So I don't know if like one of you guys works at Nespresso, or if that was just like my lucky girl syndrome working. And I actually went to a really cool, fun event the other day. It was Makeup by Mario, and this was the most fun I've had at an event ever, like an influencer event. So my thing at these events is I always make friends with the PR girls. They're usually the only people that know me, to be honest. Like, they're usually the only girls that come up to me and are like, "Are you Lizzie?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And like the second someone acknowledges me and I came in alone, like I'm clinging to them. They can't leave me. Like, that PR girl made a mistake that she came up to me and said, "Are you Lizzie?" Because now like I'm with her for the night. So this night there were two girls that I was just hanging out with for so long. One of them was from Queens, and then the other one was like her friend, and she was Filipino. Like, my best friend's Filipino. So I was kind of just like kikiing with them all night. Then they actually had to like leave me to do their jobs. And I saw this boy who I know from New York. He's not from the Bronx, but like he had Bronx Albanian friends because he was Albanian. And I was like, wait, I know you. And like I went and said hi to him. By the way, I had almost 3 drinks at this event. Like, I was drunk. I haven't been drunk in so long. And something really strange, like I didn't get sick after. So the reason I don't really drink is that if I drink, I immediately puke it up most of the time. Like, if I have one, no, I can have one drink. If I have 2 drinks, I'm 90% likely going to puke. And because of this, I usually just like don't drink. Like I never got used to the taste of alcohol because I never really drank it that much because I knew it would make me sick. My tolerance is really low because I've never been able to drink that much. So I kind of like avoid alcohol. I do drink it every once in a while, but like whatever. That's how I feel about alcohol. But this event had these like delicious cocktails. They tasted so good that I was like, there must not even be a lot of alcohol in it. Like it didn't taste like alcohol. So I had like I think three. Like it just tasted like lemonade. And then after the two girls left me and I like stood up, I was like, wait, I'm drunk. I'm literally like spinning. Everything's blurry. I'm drunk. So I went up to this boy and I was like, wait, I know you. Obviously he was with his girlfriend. I wasn't like hitting on him. I have a boyfriend. I don't know if it sounds that way. Like I'm saying I'm drunk and I went up to a boy. It wasn't like that. It was just like, oh my gosh, I know you. Like, what are you doing here? I knew what he was doing there, but I had to like, kind of play it cool. His girlfriend's like a super famous influencer. And she came over and the three of us were talking and they were so nice. Like this girl, even though she's hugely famous and popular, she was so nice. Hung out with me for the rest of the night. Literally like one of the most friendly people I've ever met at an event, and like which is shocking because usually like the bigger popular girls, like if you're someone that they don't know of and like you're not as big as them, they won't even speak to you. This girl was so nice and she made my night. I think I had another drink when I was sitting with her. I was drunk. I got home and Chris was like, I've never seen you drunk, like what's going on? And by some miracle I woke up and I wasn't sick at all, so like I need to know what they made those drinks out of. Anyway, that's really the most exciting things that happened in my life in the past week. And that's it. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you again next week. I really want to hear some feedback from you guys. Like, I get no comments about this, I get no DMs about it, I get no emails, but like, I see people watching and I see the retention span, like, watching the entire episode. So, are you enjoying? Like, I think you're enjoying. I think like the medium watch on all my episodes is that people watch like down to the last 2 minutes, like every viewer. So I think people are liking it, but let me know if you have any ideas or if I should answer questions, if I should give advice, if you like advice more, if you like just like random stories. Let me know. I'm open to all advice and ideas. Don't forget to follow me on all my other socials, Instagram, TikTok. If you're listening to this on Spotify, it's also posted to YouTube and vice versa. I'm just Lizzie Dushaj everywhere. Okay. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.